I'm standing next to the intersection of Winter Street and Banks Place, next to Oak Grove Station, the northernmost stop on the MBTA subway, which means it's time to take a 10-mile trip to Forest Hills as we explore the facts, features, and secrets of Boston's Orange Line. The present-day Orange Line opened in 1901 as a line running through the Tremont Street subway, from Sullivan Square, through Charlestown, then downtown, eventually running to the modern-day Nubian Station. This arrangement only lasted 7 years, with the trains being shifted into a new subway tunnel beneath Washington Street, being renamed the Washington Tunnel. The line eventually made extensions to Forest Hills in the south and Everett in the north. However, the degrading state of the Orange Line's elevated tracks necessitated either immediate maintenance or a completely new alignment. The MBTA chose the latter, with the northern sections of the line being shifted into a new alignment to Sullivan Square, next to the commuter rail's Haverhill Line. Further extensions in the same right-of-way were opened shortly after, with the line eventually making it to Oak Grove in 1978. The southern section of track was also facing similar maintenance issues, with the tracks over Washington Street being closed down and relocated into another commuter rail right-of-way, reaching Forest Hills by way of the Northeast Corridor. This brings us roughly to the line we know today. Oak Grove Station has 3 tracks, with an island platform for the Orange Line and a side platform for the commuter rail's Haverhill Line. This platform was actually abandoned until very recently. Between Oak Grove and Malden Center, we pass by the first of many abandoned commuter rail stations on this segment of track, Malden, complete with an original Boston and Maine Railroad station building. We pass through the present-day Malden Center, a station almost identical to Oak Grove, except elevated. Wellington is an overall pretty depressing and underwhelming station, surrounded by entirely large parking lots on one side and the Orange Line's maintenance facility to the other. But many stations on this section of Orange Line, like Wellington, feature 3 tracks and 2 island platforms, one of which is actually not in use. After Wellington, we pass over the MBTA's Dana Bridge, the site of the infamous Orange Line train fire, before arriving at Assembly. Assembly Station is the newest on the Orange Line, having been open since 2014. It was built to serve the adjacent Assembly Road development, one of Boston's fastest-growing neighborhoods. Sullivan Square, like Wellington, features 3 tracks and 2 island platforms, with one of the 3 not in use. Also like Wellington, it is surrounded by outrageous amounts of parking and is situated directly under a highway. Community College is another station under a highway, and features the exact same design as Sullivan Square. However, this time, one of the platforms is actually abandoned. Before we continue downtown, there's one more secret we need to discuss. You will have noticed that I've been mentioning a 3rd track along this section of line between Wellington and Community College, which may seem odd given that it's never typically used. It turns out that this track is actually the remnant of a failed attempt to bring express service to Boston. This track would have facilitated limited peak direction express service from Wellington to Community College, a first for the MBTA subway. But following the demise of this plan, this section of track got a second life as a test track for new subway trains. However, one of the most interesting facts about this test track is that it was also used to test trains on the Blue Line. This is because the Blue Line doesn't have a test track of its own, so when the new 700 series trains were being delivered, they were first shipped to the Orange Line, tested, and then moved to the Blue Line. This presented some compatibility challenge, because no 2 subway lines in Boston share the same standards. The new Blue Line trains, due to the fact that they are slightly taller than the Orange Line ones, had to feature a one-of-a-kind kneeling technology, where the train cars are lowered to comply with clearance requirements on the Orange Line. Anyways, after Community College, the Orange Line descends into the Washington Tunnel under downtown and arrives at North Station, one of Boston's two main rail hubs, and the first of two interchanges with the Green Line. I'm standing on the southbound Orange Line platforms here at North Station, but one of the best features about this stop is that it's also the southbound Green Line platform, because here is one of the few examples of a cross-platform transfer you can find in Boston, which makes changing lines ridiculously easy. For what it's worth, the other Green Line platform is just upstairs, but what is possibly more important to show is the connection between the subway and commuter rail stations, because they are quite far apart from each other, being separated by this narrow, often very congested hallway. We pass through Haymarket Station, a typical side platform stop, but it is the best access point from the subway to the beautiful North End neighborhood. Now we've made it to State Station, which is the first of many stations on the Orange Line where the platforms are staggered. However, here at State, the platforms have no overlap whatsoever, and not only are the platforms staggered, but they're also separated vertically. This is a similar arrangement to the Green Line platforms at North Station, or the Red Line platforms at Harvard. At Downtown Crossing, we see another example of staggered station platforms. This is also the interchange with the Red Line, but we've already covered that in a previous video. Chinatown is one of the most interesting stations on the entire system, but it might not be obvious at first. For starters, the station was only called Chinatown since 1987, when it was changed from Essex. And if you go to the far north end of the southbound platform, you can look down to see the far southern end of the northbound platform through this gap in the wall. But the most interesting part about Chinatown is if you come to the southernmost end of the southbound platform, where you can see the tunnels that led down to the now demolished Oak Street Portal, which linked the Washington Tunnel with the Washington Elevated. Another remnant of the Washington Elevated are these extra supports over the Mass Pike and commuter rail Framingham-Worcester line tracks, which may have held the Washington Elevated's bridge over the highway. After Chinatown Station, we transition into the newer tunnels built as part of the Washington Elevated replacement. They take the line first through Tufts Medical Center Station, before surfacing in the Northeast Corridor and arriving into Back Bay. Back Bay is located in a tunnel, or at least it's built over, making it feel underground. The Orange Line platforms, despite not being at first obvious, are flanked by two commuter rail platforms on either side, both of which are also partially underground. Back Bay is the third of Boston's major rail hubs, playing host to 4 commuter rail lines and 3 Amtrak intercity services. Massachusetts Avenue Station is located just outside of the tunnel portal coming from Back Bay, and is an excellent example of the standard design of stations located in the Southwest Corridor after the demolition of the Washington Elevated. Ruggles is a very substantial station. Both the Orange Line and 3 commuter rail lines stop here. The station is located in the center of Northeastern University's campus, contributing to the station's high ridership. Above the station is an impressive concourse with a unique arched canopy that has definitely seen better days, but an interesting sight nonetheless. But one thing people don't know about Ruggles is that there's an exit-only door at the end of a staircase on the south side of the Orange Line platforms, with nothing more than a small door and turnstile. Roxbury Crossing follows the exact same design language as Massachusetts Avenue, being almost identical. Jackson Square, similar to Back Bay, is underground in the sense that it's built over, rather than being physically tunneled. Above the station is a lovely park and mixed-use path, which runs the entire distance between Back Bay and Forest Hills. Stony Brook also has a park built above it, with the same path running through it. And if you come to the end of the platform, you can very easily see the outside, with light streaming in, despite the fact that the station is located below street level. Green Street, the penultimate stop on the Orange Line, is another station almost identical to Mass Ave, and provides a decent vantage point for watching trains on the adjacent Northeast Corridor. And with that, we arrive at the last station on the Orange Line, Forest Hills, with the platform situated underneath Arbor Way on which a newer, lesser known, and lesser used entrance to the station can be found. But the main station building at Forest Hills is very expansive, with an impressive glass canopy covering the concourse. This station also provides an excellent interchange with commuter rail trains, which also has a platform situated below Arbor Way, providing one of the most popular train spotting locations in Boston. And with that, the Orange Line. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. We really appreciate your support for this channel and this series. It means so much, and huge thanks again, and I'll see you around.